This is my Gram, and I've been thinking a lot about her lately. She had a few secrets. Always look down when you're walking. Money is everywhere. If you want to go to the beach in the winter, save your money and pay cash. And eat those leftovers. Never throw away food. I was writing in my journal the other day about Gram. I realized as a child of the Depression and living through wars, they had far less than we do, and somehow made life look easier. And this went way past finances. Errands weren't rushed. Meals weren't squeezed in. When something broke, you fixed it or waited instead of replacing it right away. A big part of it comes down to how life moved back then. There were unspoken frugal secrets built into everyday life simply because things took longer. Most people assumed higher prices are the whole reason money feels tighter now, but that wasn't the first thing that changed. What really shifted was the pace of everyday life. Technology didn't just speed things up, it removed the waiting. Once things sped up, spending started showing up everywhere in small ways that didn't feel careless at the time. Faster food, quicker fixes, easier replacements. Each choice made sense on its own. One of the biggest frugal secrets our grandmothers lived by was that time was already built into the day. Things were allowed to take longer. People weren't trying intentionally to slow down and be mindful, but that was just how life worked. Very little needed to be handled the right way. Dinner could run late while something simmered on the stove. A basket of mending might sit on the floor with a promise to fix it later. A list stayed on the refrigerator until the next time someone went to the store. When nothing felt urgent, money didn't jump in to rescue the moment. Small issues stayed small. There was also time to change your mind. Wanting something didn't mean you got it right away. You waited, and while you waited, a lot of wants just faded. What felt important at first often didn't feel important a few days later. If you missed an errand, it didn't derail the whole day. You put your keys back on the hook and handled it the next time you were already out. A late start didn't turn into rush to fix everything, and one small delay didn't mean you needed to spend money to put the day back on track. Now, that wiggle room is gone. A meeting runs long and dinner turns into takeout because there's no time left to cook. None of those choices feel like they're optional. They feel necessary, and that's why they cost so much. When time feels strained, every delay feels expensive. When days are packed, money becomes the fastest way to keep things moving. You're not buying because you want to. You're buying because you don't have time to handle it another way. That's why this particular rule matters. When time disappeared from everyday life, money stepped in to replace it. Once you realize this, a lot of modern spending habits make more sense. Once extra time stopped being built into daily life, the rest of the old frugal rules started falling apart one by one. Waiting was normal, and it didn't just slow down life. It changed which purchases even happened. If something wasn't available, you waited. If the money wasn't there yet, the purchase didn't happen until it was. There was no expectation that everything should show up the moment you thought of it. And that waiting mattered more than people realize. A lot of purchases never made it past the pause. The excitement faded. The need didn't feel as strong, and by the time the chance came back around, many people realized they were fine without it. Back then, waiting ended a lot of decisions. Now it starts them. Today, waiting feels uncomfortable. Delays feel like something to avoid, and getting things right away feels normal. Most modern systems are built to remove the pause completely. Instant gratification is a way of life. When that pause disappears, spending stops feeling like a decision and starts feeling automatic. You see something, you buy it, and then you move on, and money leaves faster than most people notice. Most people don't even know the total at the cash register before they swipe. This is one of the first places things started to break once time disappeared from daily life. Fixing things wasn't out of the ordinary. It wasn't a hobby or a way to pass the time when the internet goes out. It was just the chore that you needed to get done. If a button came off, you sewed it back on. If something cracked or loosened, you dealt with it. Replacing something wasn't the first idea. It was the last one. Some things truly don't last as long anymore, but a lot of things still get replaced long before they actually need to be. When fixing is normal, things stay in use longer. You notice small problems early, you get more life out of what you already own. Now, fixing things often feels like a hassle. It takes time. Parts are harder to find. Labor costs are even more. Many things aren't even made to be repaired. So, people replace them not because they want to, but because fixing doesn't fit into how life works anymore. When fixing stops being expected, spending grows. Things get replaced sooner. Purchases feel justified faster, and money leaves in small amounts that add up before you realize it. Shopping wasn't something that you did all the time. It was occasional, and you went when you needed to. You bought what you came for, and then you went home. There wasn't a habit of wandering around just to see what was new. There was no scrolling through Target with a grande white chocolate, strawberry cream cold brew, while you check out what Joanna Gaines' new home selection looked like this season. That space between shopping trips mattered more than prices ever did. Fewer trips meant fewer chances to spend, fewer moments where something extra slipped into the cart, and more time spent making what you already had last. Now shopping is everywhere. It's on your phone. It's part of errands. It fills empty minutes. When shopping becomes part of everyday life, spending starts to feel casual. Buying cheaper things more often usually costs more than buying better things less often. Purchases start to feel like something you just do, not something you stop and think about. That's why people can spend more without feeling like they're shopping more. It's not necessarily those big purchases, it's how often it happens. Money leaves a little at a time again and again until it feels heavier than expected. Convenience used to be something you choose, and it wasn't built into everything. Faster options usually cost more, which made you stop and think before using them. Convenience stood out because it wasn't always there, and that made it easier to use on purpose. When convenience is limited, you notice when you're reaching for it. You decide whether saving time is worth spending extra money. And because that decision shows up less often, convenience stays occasional instead of automatic. Now convenience is everywhere. Faster food, faster shipping, shortcuts for almost everything. The cost doesn't usually show up as one bill. It shows up as subscription fees and slightly higher prices then blend into the month. This is where you end up paying almost $40 for a burger, fries, and a drink delivered with DoorDash for a meal that might only cost $22. And making this at home might cost you $5. This is where many of the unspoken frugal rules finally broke. Speed stopped being optional. When speed becomes the expectation, convenience stops feeling like a choice even though you're still paying for it. Another difference was how often things were used before anything new came into the picture. What you already had was always the first option. Food got cooked before eating out was even considered. Clothes were worn in rotation instead of replaced for something newer. Supplies were finished before another version showed up. That habit alone slowed spending without anyone trying to be disciplined about it. You didn't replace things just because something else existed or because you just wanted something new. You worked with what was already there until it was truly done. Today, the entire process gets interrupted. There's always something faster, newer, or easier within reach, which makes it harder to fully use what you already own. The alternative is always right there. When using what you had was the starting point, money stayed in your hands longer. When replacement becomes the go-to instead, spending increases even when nothing feels over the top in the moment. This isn't really about saving money, it's about how life used to slow spending down without anyone even trying. When time was part of everyday life, a lot of purchases just never even happened. That's the part most people don't notice. Spending didn't change because people did. It changed because the pace did. Technology helped life speed up and money stepped in where time used to be. From there, the way you look at spending changes. It stops being about what to cut and starts being about how often speed is making the choice. Because a lot of modern spending isn't about wanting more, it's about keeping life moving. If this made you wonder how our grandmothers actually made less work, There's a video on my channel about what 1940s moms knew about living frugal after the Great Depression. It picks up right where this leaves off.